What's up, people? It's your boy, Mr. K.I.P. Let's talk about it. This is Trump and Snoop. I don't know what to say about this. Yeah, tell me what y'all think. Give big ups to TYT, Shank, and Anna. But tell me what y'all think.
Reveals yet another story about how Trump's thin skin and petty behavior almost cost a man his freedom. Now, this time it actually concerns Trump's relationship with Snoop Dogg, who took part in attempting to convince Trump to grant one of his former music industry friends a pardon. That is until Trump found out or was reminded of the fact that Snoop Dogg said some mean things about him previously. Now, in late 2020 and early 2021, Snoop Dogg secretly worked to influence the White House on executive clemency for federal prisoners, including Death Row Records figure Michael Harry O. Harris. Now, the 59-year-old Harris was serving 40 years behind bars for attempted murder and drug trafficking related to cocaine. Harris was convicted back in 1988 of the attempted murder of an Illinois police officer in October of 1987. The filing stated the officer was shot in the face, hit on the head, and robbed at gunpoint of her shoulder bag, 2 rings, and her badge. The victim later identified Harris from the lineup as the person who attacked her. But Harris was released from state custody in 2011 after the police like recanted, and the attempted murder charges were dropped. Okay. So Harris was then transferred to a federal prison to begin serving a nearly 20-year sentence for the cocaine drug trafficking. He wasn't slated to be released until 2028. By all accounts, Snoop Dogg's efforts in DC had been pretty successful, and Trump was in fact planning to pardon Harris upon leaving office. But on January 18th of 2021, the same reporter who put out this Rolling Stone piece published a piece in the Daily Beast about how Snoop's behind the scenes efforts wrote about his efforts to free Harris. And in that article, in that very article, there was a reminder of some of the things that Snoop Dogg had said about Donald Trump previously. And he was not a fan of Trump previously. He was, well, I'll give you an example. So in 2017, Snoop Dogg released a music video for his song Lavender. And in that music video, there's a shot where he aims and fires a gun at a clown resembling Donald Trump. I mean, you guys can judge for yourselves. Obviously, that character resembles Donald Trump. And understandably, Trump didn't like that. And the two ended up firing insults back and forth, with Snoop Dogg saying anyone that liked him was a racist. Now, that's what happened previously. Apparently, Trump had forgotten about it until Rolling Stone had reminded him in a piece that they had published about Snoop Dogg attempting to get his friend freed. So in response to that, Trump said, well, F him. Trump moaned about Snoop Dogg. Suddenly, Trump didn't feel the rapper deserved an act of kindness or mercy. The clemency paperwork for Harris had already been drafted, and his name was on the roster of expected pardons and commutations that the White House planned to announce the day of Biden's inauguration. On January 18th of 2021, Trump instructed aides to remove Harris's name from the list and to junk his paperwork in order to punish Snoop Dogg. 2 former administration officials and other sources familiar with the matter say. So I'm gonna pause here, Jank, because it's just amazing to me how, look, politics is transactional overall. Everything is transactional in politics. I know that, I've come to accept that, it is what it is. But it's usually transactional in a power play. Like if I vote for this proposal, then you are going to give me the pork that I'm asking for my state. It's usually transactional in that way. In this
In this case, like basically what she's saying is it's apolitical. It's because somebody's feelings got hurt. And we all know who it is. But again, let's talk about it.
In this case, it's transactional in the form of hurt feelings, which is amazing. So in the end, Snoop Dogg ended up winning, and I'll tell you how. But first, I'm curious what you think, Jake.
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised by it. Trump has done much worse when somebody said mean or nice things about him. Remember when Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, said some things that were a little bit threatening, and Trump said, "Oh, hey, little rocket man, watch out, my button is bigger than yours," and threatened him. And then Kim Jong-un then said nice things about Donald Trump while having the same exact policy, while still building nuclear weapons. And the minute he said nice things, Trump forgot that he was building nuclear weapons and didn't care. He's like, oh, he likes me. I like anyone who likes me. Little child that he is. So since the North Korean communist dictator gave him a pat on the head, the little child then said that they had fallen in love. So with Snoop Dogg, same thing. You say nice things about me, I love you. And I'll get, oh, that guy, he's a murderer, he's not a murderer. I don't care. I don't care. It only depends on whether Snoop Dogg is being nice to me or being mean to me. So if he's innocent and you got an innocent man behind bars, who cares? Snoop was mean to me, so now you have to stay in prison even though I know you're innocent. Or he's guilty and he's an actual murderer. Oh, who cares? Let him out as long as Snoop says nice things about me. And his supporters kind of know this. I mean, the Kim Jong-un thing is gigantic. He said he wrote love letters to him. And they don't care. They don't care at all. They're like, oh, taking away someone's freedom based on how your feelings? We don't care. Feelings don't care about facts. Go just do what I can, dive into your feelings and do whatever you think is right. We love you, Donald.
But I mean, we could use that to our advantage. Like, if that's the way he operates, if he's easily manipulated that way, just by compliments and admiration.
Look, I can't stomach it. I can't do it. But
I know.
But you bring up an interesting point. Like, maybe we just invent a character and then he goes and kisses Donald Trump's ass and then says, oh, Donald Trump's like, he's the greatest person in the world. But you know what proves how great he is? If he stopped bombing Gaza. Maybe Trump's like, okay, then I stop bombing Gaza. I mean, I don't know. I hope maybe, by the way, maybe. I hope they're not still bombing Gaza in that hypothetical, but you never know. But really, like, it's not hard to trick him out of things.
Yeah, in fact, let me continue because it is not hard to trick him out of things or into things. So news of Trump wanting to get Snoop Dogg's friend off of that list of pardons got out, and criminal reform advocates began frantically calling in favors and contacting senior Trump aides, trying to get him to change his mind. So at that point, they asked Snoop to post something positive about Trump online or to profusely apologize to Trump publicly or in private. Now, Snoop didn't want to debase himself too much. I love the word debase. Like, it isn't used often enough, but he didn't want to debase himself that much, but they did have another plan. So apparently a documentary was being filmed about the mission to get Harris released early. And the filmmakers had some unreleased footage of Snoop Dogg saying some pretty complimentary things about Donald Trump. So here's what they did. Trump was shown the documentary footage. The president said he appreciated what he saw as Snoop Dogg's sincerity and plaudits. The source with direct knowledge and a former Trump official say about 24 hours before he was to step down from power, Trump instructed his advisors to re-add Harris's name to the pardon and commutations list. That's amazing. That is so amazing. Cenk, it's too easy.
I know.
I feel like we're missing out on an opportunity here.
But guys, again, if you're an independent, forget MAGA. If you're an independent who's considering Trump because you can't stand Biden or whatever, look at this child. Look at this child. Look at how easily he's manipulated. All you have to see.
I know, Cenk, but okay, I gotta jump in. Okay, Look how easy he's manipulated. You have someone who you could actually change just by complimenting him. And then you have Biden, who like sees that he's losing support among key demographics in his base because of his support for Israel's war on Gaza. He's unmovable. You can't move him on it. He's going to keep sending weapons. He's going to keep supporting. And look, I'm not saying this to make the argument that Trump is better than Biden. I'm just saying in this very small slice of who they are as people, it seems as though it's easier to get Trump to champion some of the policies that we might want versus Biden, who doesn't give a damn about what his own base wants. You have 2/3 of Democrats wanting a ceasefire, and their president is giving them the middle finger. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between, honestly, most Democrats and what you see from Trump. Trump's base feels that he's looking out for them, that he listens to them, that he cares about them. Now, obviously, there are some examples that we've talked about on this show many, many times that show that he actually goes against some of their best interests, including the tax cuts for the rich. You get the point. But with Biden, once he's, and most Democrats, to be honest with you, once they're set on a certain policy, like supporting Israel no matter what, they're gonna support Israel no matter what, even if it means political suicide for themselves.
I mean, okay, first to back up your point and then to counter it. Backing it up, like marijuana legalization is at 70%. Easy, no brainer. Easy way to get young votes. There's no downside. Nobody, like the 30% that's against marijuana legalization would never vote for Biden anyway, right? But he can't get himself to do it because he's frozen in time. He's a frozen caveman lawyer, old school SNL skit. And yeah, the Democratic leadership won't change a goddamn thing no matter what, no matter how much their voters want it, they don't care. They work completely for the donors. On the other hand, Trump is mercurial, he's fickle, he'll do whatever is only in his interest, doesn't care about the country at all. He lies to his voters all the time. He doesn't care about you guys. He'll do a big thing about like, Oreo better not work, we'll move out here, otherwise I'm gonna punish them. And Chris Christie, you're not allowed to have any Oreo cookies. And then they move out and he doesn't do anything. He never does anything that he actually promised you. Oh, I'm gonna build a wall, 6 months left in his term. He's like, oh right, the wall, I forgot the wall. What did he do in the rest of his term? Giant tax cuts for the rich and for corporations. That's the only person he serves. So yeah, I get it. You could trick the little child a little bit easier because he likes compliments and candy. And by the way, the other thing that Trump loves is money. So you could just go and bribe him and there won't be any rules left at all, right? If Trump's back in charge, and then you could bribe him to maybe go in your direction, right? But is that really the guy we want in charge of the country? A fickle, idiotic man-child who's easily bribable? Man, we are so screwed.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's between a guy who's easily bribable and another guy who's also easily bribable but cares even less about his constituents.